Good evening, my friends. I just had to do this video. I just want to encourage our people, enlighten our people, and just remind um, our people of things that we should be aware of and that we should know. And to stop letting things that don't really matter put us in a place where we're under stress. um, we doubt ourselves, and we start to see ourselves through the lens of the eyes concerning how other people view us. No, we determine how we will view ourselves, and you will have to deal. The reason why I'm saying that this is I was listening to a video by Dr. Umar, and he was talking about reparations. Okay, uh, just about everyone in America should know that we are rallying this government to recognize that they owe a debt to our people because of really hundreds of years where they have done everything in their power to destroy our ability to take care of ourselves. They've destroyed our economies. They destroyed our neighborhoods. They destroyed our banks. They ran freeways through our neighborhoods, used eminent domain to take our land. They pushed us off our land. They built dams and man-made rivers over our towns. They totally destroyed a whole group of people. They didn't just enslave us. If they would have just enslaved us and then pretty much left us alone, we would be doing 100 times better today than we are. Okay, they've done so much more. The drugs, sending highly addictive drugs into distributing them into our communities, knowing that especially the males would get their hands on these drugs and sell them to their own people, being that they economically um, they they economically de- depress our people and our males. So after that is the war on drugs, the war on our people, mass incarceration, um, medical apartheid. There's a book, you need to get it. There are so many things that they have done to us, and we are missing trillions in generational wealth because of this. Okay, and I haven't even talked about redlining. I haven't talked about discrimination when it came to housing grants and loans, um, home ownership, because of how they uh, redlined us in our communities, and restricted our ability to get grants and loans to own homes. We are like 700 or 800 years behind the white majority in owning homes. Now, it was that like it was quoted that it was like over 1,000 years. I ain't lying. Over 10 years ago, so it might be a little bit longer now. But that's just incredible. That's incredible. They've done some terrible things to us. So he was talking about reparations, and he was talking about, if you know anything about Dr. Umar, he is against um, labeling ourselves as and with people of color. You know, us aligning ourselves with their cause. People who are of immigrant origin and stuff like that. Um, Anybody, except so-called black people. And I agree with him because we cannot be put in the same box as immigrants. We cannot, whether they are black or what, whether they're Asian, from Mexico, from Latin America, whether or not they are from East India, the Middle East, or whatever. Our issues are different. Our struggle is different. Our struggle is tied to America, to this government. Okay, our ancestors have been buried on this land. They say for hundreds, no, really for thousands. Okay, because we were here before the so-called Atlantic slave trade, and there's a lot more to that. I'm not going to get into it. That is not the topic of the discussion. So he's definitely against us being people of color. We can't be people of color on the same wavelength as the so-called minorities, and we cannot be a minority. We're not minorities, okay? We're people. We have our own struggle. We have our own everything, okay? We have our own ingenuity. We have our own history, and all that stuff. It just makes us. We have to remember that we're to be separated in that sense from other people. Not that we don't care about their struggle at all, and we don't like them, or like they don't like us. But we're people, our own people to ourselves. Okay, we're our own nation. All right, so we have definitely cannot be classified as no people of color in no shape, form, or fashion, and we are not minorities. So again, he doesn't consider the black foreigners like the Africans and the Caribbeans and islanders and wherever. He don't consider them. They're foreigners too. They have basically, especially the Africans, the same mindset as the Arabs and the Asians and everybody else coming over here, but he does not include them. Okay, so moving on, he talked about how there was I think it was, I don't know if it was a documentary or he was reading something where they took a poll and asked all these different ethnicities except us. They didn't ask, and they didn't mention our people. Our people were not the subject of interest, but they asked the Arabs, Mexicans, Latinas, Asians, and white people, did they think that we should get our reparations? And the majority of each of these groups said no. Okay. Why am I making a big thing out of this? Number one, you should already know that these people don't like you. They don't respect our struggle, most of them. What's the big deal? That's number one. Why are you making a video talking about how these people feel about us? We already know. All you're doing is adding negativity to our energy that we don't need. We don't need that. We already know how these people feel. It doesn't matter. We could care less. When we talk about reparations, we're talking about us. We're not talking about them. Who cares? Again, who cares? Who cares? All of them be damned. Mind your business. Our gripe is with this government, and we will keep our reparations movement alive, and in the face and in the ears of the politicians and the American government. Okay, so how somebody else feels is it doesn't matter. Okay, we're not speaking to them, of them, about them, and they're not included. Now, his mistake. Now, don't get me wrong. Dr. Umar is very intellectual. He's very well educated, very well knowledgeable, very well read, almost to perfection. But he is making one huge mistake. And this is why I just cannot totally, I just can't totally agree with him. I can't totally get into him and his and what he's trying to do. We are not Africans, okay? Even if we came from Africa, every last one of our ancestors came from Africa 400 years ago. 400 years today, we are totally different from Africans. Your people don't look like you, they think like you. We wouldn't think like Africans at all. So either way, we're not Africans, okay? We have ancestry, but our bloodline is American. That's our strongest bloodline. That is our main bloodline. That's who we are. All right. So there, we're not Africans. Um, we will never be able to unite with the whole continental Africa, the whole of the islands and the Caribbeans and the West Indians. We will never unite. We never were. We're not now, and we never will. He wants to act like we're all on the same page. Now, let me focus on Africa. Africa has what, 54 countries? And all these countries all together, they have over 7,500 different tribes, uh, multiple thousands of different languages. A lot of these people are different from each other, like almost like night and day. They're not united at all. They never been, never will be. How do you expect them, or why would they want to come here and try to so-called unite with us? They didn't come here to fight against this government in our struggle. They didn't come here for that. They came here to get a better education and to take advantage of all these resources that exist in this country. They make money. They go and send it back. They send it back home to their families. They build themselves up in their business. Their businesses, they get together amongst themselves and work with each other. And I'm seeing that they're working with all other immigrants. I go to a lot of stores owned by Indians and Arabs, and I see Africans working there. I see some West Indians in there. They are working with them. They are building with them. They purposely separate themselves from us. So what is Dr. Umar trying to push? Why is he pushing this phantom unity between us and especially African people? But I'm talking about all the foreigners. They didn't come here to fight. They came here to gain. They came here to have it as smooth as possible. Do you know if these foreigners came here trying to help us with our struggle and speak alongside us and rally with us and march with us, this government will send every last one of their asses back to where they came from. This government will send them back, and they wouldn't be allowed to enter into this country again. They better not come our way, and they don't want to anyway. They know that we're different. They know we don't have the same struggle, even though in this country they're just another you just another black person, another racial slur or whatever they want to say to you. They'll treat you just like they'll treat us. They'll kill you. The police will kill you. Your so-called white friends will drown. I'm not talking about all, you know what I'm saying. Will drown you. You'll be discriminated against. The door will be closed on you just like they do to us. But that's not our problem. We have fought, and constantly fight and still fighting this government. They got to do the same. They're going to be treated just as bad as us. But that's not, like I said, that's not our concern. They got to get their own civil rights together. They got to get their own African Lives Matter. They need to get their own pay their own legislators or find their own legislators to speak on their behalf. But the sad thing is that I totally understand them, Africans and all these other black foreigners. If I went to their country, I wouldn't be trying to get into the struggle and the wars and civil stripes and tribalism that they got going on there. I would be going there to experience a level of peace and to see what I can build there to advance myself. I wouldn't be going there to fight no war. That's their war. They had these tribal wars and stuff before I was even born. I would not go there. So why would they, with this attitude, but why we expect them to come here with that same attitude? Okay, and they're not. I remember this African girl was saying, we avoid you guys like the plague. They ain't playing either. And going back to what I was going to say, the sad thing is that whatever is done to them, because when these people approach them, that accent might throw them off for a minute, but they just another naga sitting on this continent. They gonna treat them the same as us. So in reality, what they do to those people by default, in a big way, they do to us, and that's, it's all on us. They're all no, I don't. I reject that. I reject that. Even though it's true that what they do to them, then in essence, they're doing it to us because they're simply doing, mistreating them or discriminating against them because of their skin color. So, but it is what it is. I myself and others want to separate our claim and our justice in our situation as much as possible from these foreigners, because we're not foreigners, okay? And we know that it will never be an equal situation. We'll be the ones talking about Pan-Africanism. We'll be the ones talking about my people and let's unite. We'll be the ones talking the same junk Umar is talking. While they look the other way, they seek to align with foreigners that do not even look like them, that hate them also, but yet and still they avoid us. So we have to learn to do the same. The relationship is not a reciprocal, and it never was and never will be. Pan-Africanism, for the most part, started with us. It's a beautiful concept, but it's not based on reality. We've been toting this for over about 100 years now. We've been trying to get these people to understand that in this world, not only in this country, this world, they look at your skin color and they pretty much judge us all equally. But they're not. Oh no, that doesn't move them. We're still different from you. You deal with that. We'll deal with this on that side. And I think, and that's the way it should be. I totally agree with them. I feel like it's unfair to expect them to so-called fight for us, come to this country and, march with us and throw the fists up with us. That's unfair for us to expect them to do that, because I know I wouldn't go there and do that for them. If I was in a African country and a war broke out or some struggle started happening and I started feeling unsafe with what is going on in the environment at that time, I would get up and use my double citizenship and bring my butt back to the States, which is what this elder Pan-African American did, that I met almost 20 years ago. He was living in Nigeria. God, I guess he felt like he was going home to be where he came from, I guess, according to what we've been brainwashed to think. And that Biafra War jumped off. He didn't stay there. He didn't keep his ass there talking about, I'm going to help my Nigerian fight this war. He got his butt on the first thing smoking, came back to the States, and I think he died here. Okay? So there is no mythological worldwide black unity, never was. On a large scale, ain't now, never will be. Now, there are individuals who believe that Dr. Umar believed, but that's not how he got us perceiving it. He got us perceiving that we're all one, we're all Africans, we have this unity, we're going to work together eventually, we just got to get everybody on board. That is the biggest delusion. Oh my God, it will never work. Therefore, I can't get behind and support Umar just for that one thing. That's a big mistake. That's a fallacy. You got to remember, you keep calling yourself African, you're just going to be seen as an immigrant or a foreigner on your own land. This is our land. We're on our own land. But you have people who are following that theology or philosophy or whatever. You're a foreigner. You might as well need a green card. You should be afraid that because of what you're saying, that they could deport you, even though you have the records that your bloodline goes back on this land for hundreds of years, and you have no recollection. Your family didn't have no stories about no boat that you came off of, no African people that they knew of that they could name. Not hardly one. Some of us can, but the vast majority of us, 98% can. We can't name no African tribe. We can't name no oral tradition or history of our people talking about they came off a goddamn boat. We don't have that in our family. So our history is shrouded in mystery. The United States government know who we really are. That's why they fight any type of our history being taught in these schools. And good, I think that's great, because we don't need our enemy trying to teach our children our history in the first place. But the hell, we don't know it, and we should be the ones teaching it. We don't even know it. We gotta relearn our history, because the history that a lot of us think that we know is not correct. It is the biggest lie. It is not correct. So I just want to reiterate, don't be getting off into how these other people feel about you, what they think about you, and what's their opinion on your struggle. They can fall back. We don't care. Okay? This is about us. It's not about you. We're not concerned about what you think or how you feel. We don't care. All right? So I just want to put that out there. Hopefully that gives you some hope and some self-esteem, and just keep the negative vibes away and the negative energy away as much as possible. We should ignore these people as a people, and if any individuals come at us, we will be ready for you. We can take care of the individuals. So thank you all for listening to this video. You have a blessed evening. Have a very restful and peaceful night and sleep. Peace.